Hola, buenas noches, good evening everyone. This is Juan Catamayo for you. And today we're not here to talk about college. We're not talking here about standardized tests. We're not talking here about college essays. Hola Andrés, un saludo para mi primo. Hola Cata, un saludo para ti. Vamos a ver quién más se mete. Esto lo vamos a poner en IGTV. Hola Doc, how are you my friend? Invite your friends, don't forget, there is that little airplane right here. You tell your friends that Juan Catamayo for you is here. Andrés, ahí te llamé, devuelva la llamada, devuelva el WhatsApp. A ver si me escuchaste ahí. Bueno, so today we're not talking about, I found these books, check this out. SAT. And this one comes from the College Board. And we're not talking about SAT today. I found another one, SAT, and this one is from the Princeton Review. Both of them are really good. I'm not here to talk about SAT. We're here to talk about entrepreneurship, vision. We're talking here about people that have made it through for years. So today happens that I was invited to watch Don Ramiro Escobar and the group from ASESCO. And this was an incredible experience. I was just thinking, hey, Joe Jacolon from Marist, my friend, where is my shirt? I have this one here from TCU. We have here Villarango, hola, ¿cómo estás? Carla, ¿cómo estás en El Salvador? Joe, I saw you on Instagram. Don't go, my friend, don't go, please. So I was just telling you that I was watching a group of pioneers, of people that have worked in Colombia for the last 50 years, and a family that have endured for the last 50 years, and they have generated thousands and thousands of jobs in Colombia and around the world. So what is the message that I get from these pioneers? They're actually in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, actually their 50s. This is a family generation that has helped Colombia. And I was just on the phone with Alba Nidia, a lady that I love. Ella trabaja en la región del Peñol. She works, for those of you that are very familiar or not familiar with Colombia, she works 1 hour from the Medellin airport in a beautiful place called El Peñol y Guatapé. Joe, don't go away. Marcela Fernandez, hola. And these guys, they are from Pennsylvania, Caldas. They moved to an intermediate city called Manizales. And then they moved to Bogota, and they put their business all over Colombia and Latin America. So what I learned from them today, with 50 years, they have gone through a lot of work. And their vision is incredible, and that's what everybody is going through right now. We have to be positive, we have to be optimistic, we have to endure in difficult times. But then, during this conversation, they talk about values. And here is where Joe, we work in education, and Don Ramiro, he actually mentioned that the values that we learn at home are the values that carry with us for the rest of our life. And I have made some business deals, negotiation throughout the honor code, as we call it in college. We just say we do it and we do it. We shake hands. And usually there are no contracts. It's the word. And you value the word when somebody says, let's do it. So that's something that right now our generation needs to learn, the honor code, as I tell the students. The value that we learn from our parents is very important. Now we wonder, we live in a world that a lot of our children do not have parents. So who do they have? They have uncles, they have friends, but everything goes to education and how we teach our younger kids to respect and to honor the word. So I'm coming through this because throughout the world we are seeing a lack of the honor code, I think. What we say is what we have to grant. and that's where we need to go. I see Lisa Alessio, she just joined. So watching these guys, a group of 40 people, family members, relatives, entrepreneurs that they have endured through difficult circumstances in Latin America. Colombia is not anywhere foreign to difficulties like any other country in Latin America. But during crisis, permanent crisis, they have generated thousands of jobs. So how do we endure during COVID-19? Is that we have to stay positive. We need to come back to what we all been talking about, values. I've been hearing a lot that this situation is going to take almost 2 years. By the time that we get the vaccine, that we get the antibodies on our fluids, that our world generation get used to it, to this system of living. So it takes 2 years. So what are we doing in 2 years from today until year 2? Because that's the reality. Well, what I learned today is that first of all, we go to family values and we love each other. We respect each other. We do not argue with each other, and we conceal and we move forward. My friend, United World College, Yonlu, she always says, Juanca, you keep saying, let's move forward. I don't want to go back. I want to move forward. So that's my message today. We need to work on how we're gonna create a positive world throughout these circumstances. Students, you have these books, SAT, ACT, and so forth. Keep working hard. There are cancellations, straight, left. My friend right here, Joe Jacolonda, works for Marist College, beautiful place in Poughkeepsie, New York, and also his beautiful campus in Florence. These guys in admissions are not having a really good summer, I tell you that. While many of us, I just finished my gym class, they're working their butts off to make sure that college students, they in somehow, some way, they get educated during the next couple of years. Because it's not easy. There is no college president in the United States or around the world that knows the magic answer. But I will tell you what the magic answer is. And I learned that from Dr. Bob Bureza 2 weeks ago from St. Andrews. He's a dear friend of mine. He worked at Georgetown. And he said, Juan Camilo, students, they have to move forward. That's my message. Moving forward is not being afraid of the new norm. That means online. Parents, they're afraid. So some parents are not sending their children to high school or elementary school, middle school this year. So that's okay. If you have the financial means to sustain the same environment, please do so. And I learned this from the CEO and president of Rustic Pathways. One family called me and said, I want my money back from my summer program. And I said, okay, let's work on that money back from your summer program. So I called the CEO, and great guy, and he said, Juanca, when you pull $4,000 from that summer program, you're affecting 300 families. I'm like, oh my gosh, tell me a little bit more about it. Yes, because you know our summer program is about social work. So your kid, in his case, he wanted to go to Fiji and do social work. Remember, we work with the islanders, and they depend upon that income. Even though that we are a summer provider, a lot of people, they rely on that one. So let's go back to Dr. Bob Bureza from St. Andrews School that work at Georgetown. And he said, Juanca, my message is move forward. So if there is online education at Marist, do online education at Marist. If Marist in Poughkeepsie has a hybrid that you go to Marist for a couple courses and they have the hybrid, you do it. You continue your dream. Parents are calling me a straight left, right, and say, hey, I want to transfer my son to Miami-Dade College, FIU. Guys, if we have the financial means, let's sustain the environment because the environment is transforming. So remember, we have fall, we have winter, we have spring, and we have summer. And we have the 4 seasons. And the environment goes through the 4 seasons. And we sustain the 4 seasons. We don't go, especially in the northern places, we don't go through 2 seasons. We need the 4 seasons to maintain sustainability. So that's what I need you parents. Hold strong. Make sure that we all help and sustain our environments. Whether it's your private schools, your public schools, you choose online, hybrid, send your children here and there. You are entitled to be afraid, and that we're not going to take away from you. We are not entitled is not to continue supporting our educational system. So that's one of the messages, and I totally agree with Dr. Burresa from St. Andrews. And then I know Joe Jacalon at Marist, he's working really, really hard. He just mentioned that he has the hybrid program. So that's what I'm saying. You don't stay in your area of your comfort zone. You go to Marist. You go to all these wonderful institutions and universities that you decided to apply, that you were accepted, and you move forward. So let's go back to Don Ramiro. What this conversation that I saw earlier this afternoon with a bunch of guys in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s that they built industries. Well, these guys came back to the two actually, family values. So that's the principle. That's where we need to go. So as educators, we need to work around those principles and values. So what we talk, it has to be meaningful. Now, with our students, we need to go back to those principles. The schools are doing that, but we need to be stronger on that one. The honor code, I went to Clark University in Dubuque, Iowa. I didn't understand the honor code until they start talking to me about what an honor code is and the meaning of an honor code. Pretty much for those that grew up in Latin America and around the world, honor code means you shake hands and what you say is what you mean and what you do. So you grant that honor code. So I think we need to go back. That's what I love. A lot of schools, liberal arts schools, that they talk about the honor code. We need to go back to those. And that is my message this evening. I just felt that I needed to send a beautiful message from a group of guys that have created thousands of jobs, and they worry about social entrepreneurship. They worry about humankind. It's not only piling money on the bank, but it's giving. You receive and you give. You receive and you give. And more abundance will come to you. So for the parents that are watching, I just want to say thank you for supporting our efforts at JCT for Education. It hasn't been a very easy year. Your calls, I love them. Sometimes I don't have the answers. We research your answers. We do the best. Each of you have a plan. The most important, follow your instinct. Your instinct will never, ever go wrong. I see Leti Capriles, she's here. Cristina Gaviria, hola, Naji. So I was just talking about instinct. Don't let your children and my fellow students that are watching, don't go to the easy route, please. I know you guys know me that I love discipline. I love to achieve my goals. The easy way is not to go to school and defer for next year. That's the easy way. The hard way is to get used to it, to this hybrid program or online program until everything is back to how we want it, which is that. But another thought came through my head. Check this out. 1.7 billion people are learning. No, 1.7 billion people are learning somehow, some way, in different mechanisms. So let's put it very easy. 1.7 billion people are from kindergarten, from the little baby, all the way. I just saw today a 90-year-old guy using Zoom like if it was his cell phone. Imagine that. 1.7 billion people, which 17% of them right now in the world doing online education, some type of online education. By the year 2025, 50% of 1.7 billion people are going to be doing some sort of online education. So you tell me if online education will know the future. When I saw today a 90-year-old guy, an 84-year-old guy conducting one of the most meaningful Zoom meetings I've seen in this COVID, actually. It has been incredible. The world is transforming. So I guess we're gonna have to get used to it. New technology will arise. I will see perhaps 3D, Zoom, chat rooms, things like that, where we all gonna feel like we are at one of the classrooms at Marist or Lynn University or Babson or BU from your living room. That's what's coming. Developers that are working on that software, they're gonna make billions of dollars. So for the students that are watching today, I was working with a computer engineering student, and I say, man, you're gonna make a lot of money. And actually you're gonna be transforming the world, because the world is transforming right now. In the interim, just think about this analogy that I just mentioned, the transition between summer and fall and winter and spring and summer. That's the type of adaptability that we need as humankind. So all in all, what are the learning lessons from me, particularly from today? We go to the basics, values, family values. That we're learning from home is that we're gonna be applying. And I just saw a guy, 84-year-old guy, saying his family values have carried for 50 years for a successful business. So for those of you, I know we all agree on that, but to agree means discipline, and we have to respect that a lot. So for now, I'm a college planner. I'm a strategist when it comes to colleges and universities. Students watching, you're going through a generation that is going to transform our world. So I am right now 49, and I'm going through this beautiful world of changes. When I be 84 years old, I cannot imagine what the world will look like, because you transform the world, because you're going to empower the world. We're going to adjust to the new world that you are transforming and changing. So please don't forget to remember, carry values throughout your inventions and in your innovations. When you carry values and when you give to the people that also need from your leadership, they're going to give you in return not only abundance, financial abundance, but gratitude, and you're going to feel really good. So anyway, I know I've been talking for a while. You know that I'm optimistic. I never think that things are going to fail. Never. I myself think that it's doable, and we're going to make things happen. And I will tell you from my own experience, and I can tell you, okay, Georgia Colon says, I'm back to you. Actually, probably your internet froze. Hopefully it wasn't mine. But this video will be housed on IGTV, so you can rewatch this video. And I will make sure that I put it on the JCT for Education for you, YouTube. But what I want to say is discipline. Somebody told me, I'm going to run an ultra marathon. I'm like, what the heck is an ultra marathon? And I say, well, you just run 2 marathons. I'm like, okay, let's run 2 marathons. Oh no, but I'm running that ultra in Africa. Okay, so what's the difference between Colombia, United States, and Africa? We go to Africa. What's the difference? Oh, well, the ultra marathon is uphill, and the following year is downhill. Like, how many kilometers? They say 89 kilometers. I say, what's the problem? When you train your mind, your body responds to that training. So I always tell my students, anything is possible. I tell my parents, anything is possible with discipline, endurance, and let's add a new one, values. Values is very important. So anyway, I'm really super excited. I just want to say thank you for supporting my journey. Without you guys, I couldn't be here. I love what I do. I do it with passion. I have a beautiful cohort of students this year going to incredible schools. Yes, one of them, they will study from home, but they're still good schools. And I will tell every single of my students, do not detour from any other institution but the institution that you chose, because they're working really hard for you to be part of that community. So that's my message to you. I wish all your families are well. I know it's been hard times. I know being inside of a house the whole time, just walking around is not easy, but we will move forward. Leti Capriles dice, muy linda, importantes por tus palabras. Así es, Leti. Tú sabes que a mí me gusta hablar con positivismo, empoderar a los hijos, a las hijas tuyas, me encanta hablar con ellas y es de la única forma que podemos salir adelante, empoderando a nuestra futura generación, darle las herramientas y a ustedes los papás, como decimos en Colombia, darles berraquera, fortaleza, energía para salir adelante. No ver noticias todos los días, noticias malas. Let's not watch news. It's a disaster. Every day that we watch the news is horrible. But I guess we have to have a positive attitude. And last but not least, there are a lot of people right now that are not eating. And for parents, I beg you, please, if you're watching, tell your children to do something from home. They can do a lot of social work from home. There are a lot of foundations that they need your work. Right now, I have 3 students from Barranquilla. They came together and they are putting little mercaditos, little groceries with $10. These 3 students are feeding families in Barranquilla that they don't have anything to eat. You have many foundations. You have the Juanfe Foundation as well. I have a student in Colombia, in Cali. She every week collects 80 little grocery supermarket and send it to 80 families in need. So parents, please tell your children they need to do something to work from home. That's what I'm doing with our students right now. I say, I don't care what you do. I have another student from Ibagué, Colombia with his sister. They are donating diapers. Let's go more private here. My father, he wears diapers. And he needs them. And there are people that don't have the money for diapers. We need to help those elderly that they need the diapers. So please, let's empower our children to work hard for our generation. And let's empower them to be the best generation ever that we ever gonna see. Because during the crisis, we see the best of our humankind generation create the best. So anyway, love you all. Good night, buenas noches. Y el mensaje es, los valores de la familia siempre son los que van a prevalecer. Buenas noches. Love you all.